Okay, hello everybody. So I'm Raul, and this is my esteemed guest, Yuen Chen from Kapop Academy, Singapore. So we're right here in their main downtown location in Singapore. So you can kind of see they're also the creators of Modern Street Combatives. Basically, what that is a realistic self-defense program that anybody can learn. Right? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, honestly, Modern Combatives was created because we wanted a very simple and effective system that anybody, all right, regardless of age, gender, stamina, can learn. And I think we found the solution to that. And of course, Modern Combatives is also different because we don't just focus on the physical part of it, we also add in psychology. We teach people to recognize pre-attack cues even before the fight actually happens, and that is obviously the optimal defense. But of course, if that were to fail, then yes, we do teach them how to get out from situations by using very simple self-defense techniques.
Yes. So one of the reasons why we work together so much is because while they were formulating their program here, they found that basically they would go over different styles of martial arts, and they would try to find out what works. And so one of the styles that really works as a good foundation for self-defense is catch as catch can wrestling, or we call it catch wrestling, right? But I kind of want to get to one aspect, right? So takedowns. So if you were to study the British version or the Lancashire style of catch wrestling, you often see stand-up takedowns. So almost like it might look like a Greco-Roman, where you might suplex, or you're going to be doing these so if you do a duck under, you're going to stay standing, bring the person up, and then take them down and maybe land on them, right? You're not going to see so many like knee over toe type stuff. One of the reasons that is because like a long time ago in Lancashire, a lot of these wrestling matches took place outside, so you really wanted to maximize the damage to your opponent by picking them up and then slamming them onto the grass, right? So this is one of the aspects that I think you mentioned that is actually more applicable to self-defense than a modern amateur wrestling version of takedowns. Because like Yuen Chen is also one of the national wrestlers for Singapore, so she has a lot of experience in freestyle wrestling, and a lot of times that is like a knee over toe takedown, right?
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit about some of these differences and what you guys have found?
So basically, I've had the opportunity to be a national wrestler, so I do dabble in freestyle wrestling for a few years, and I learned it because it's a sport to me, and I can recognize the difference between sports and what I would do in the street. And some of the things that we do in freestyle wrestling, I wouldn't exactly do it in the streets. Like for example, as you mentioned, takedown. We do a lot of knee over toe kind of takedown in freestyle wrestling, but we can only do that because we're on mats most of the time, or all the time when we do freestyle wrestling. But to take the same takedown and use it on streets where there are no mats, I mean, I just feel like you're gonna bust your knee or something. So yeah, definitely. So when it comes to wrestling, I mean, the various forms of versions or variations, and I think that there are certain styles that are more to its sports and some styles that are more to its self-defense. Yeah, but there is definitely a difference.
Yeah. So kind of like one of the points we kind of want to show is that like catch wrestling, definitely it's an art in itself. And so nowadays, since freestyle and folk style evolved from catch wrestling, I think maybe some people kind of skew what wrestling is with these amateur versions. So when we were talking earlier, I think you mentioned one of the differences between the catch wrestling and then the modern amateur versions is that we also have the submissions as well. So we have more options.
Exactly.
So it's not necessarily like I just want to get low to the ground instantly, which you totally can't. That's one of the strategies in catch wrestling. But sometimes we can take the person up and then really try to damage them.
Yeah. So that's why the mentality between a sports person and wrestling, like a freestyle wrestler versus like a catch wrestler, is very different. So in freestyle wrestling, I mean, obviously because of the competition, we can only pin, and so it's either pinning or by point system, which doesn't lend itself very well in the streets, because if we're talking about pinning, I mean, on the streets. Like how long are you going to pin the guy? And what if there are multiple attackers? You can't just keep pinning the guy when somebody's trying to kick you in the face, right? So in catch wrestling, because there are options to do submissions, I can very well just hurt the person, get up, focus on the next attacker, and let's move on from there. So I think it's much more versatile. Catch wrestling can be used in sports, but can also use in self-defense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's often been considered a complete martial art just without striking. So we kind of want to highlight that aspect so you guys understand just what a wonderful style that we have, that we practice. So keep on learning, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us at catchwrestlingalliance.com. If you want to learn more about Modern Street Combatives and Kapap Academy Singapore, tell us how can we reach you?
Yeah, so we have got a YouTube channel as well, Kapap SG, which is KAPAPSG, or our website kapapsingapore.com. That's where you'll find us.
All right, thanks for talking with me.
Thank you.